watched Kyle attempt to set up a light.
Meant to do that. 8 + 2.
There, hold on.
It's like, look at this guy. He's got a light here, and he's trying to set it up. And he was on one side of the room over here. Now he's on another side.
Oh, here we go.
And I'm playing cameraman with a laptop.
Let's try it out.
Oh, nice.
Is it good lighting?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Are we
Come
looking
check it
better?
out. Come check it out. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, Kyle, the lighting expert. Here we go.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby.
Wow. Oh, this is amazing. Wow.
I just
really,
punched out
Robbie?
my lighting expert for no reason.
I fixed the lighting, and this is what I get.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. Kyle, it has been a while, my friend.
Right?
How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah,
just had a
same.
very busy summer overall. Just a lot of changes afoot.
Yes.
So just going through all that.
Yeah, I literally realized before tonight's episode that it has been over a month since we actually sat down on a couch to film an episode. We did film an episode in between that you guys will be seeing on the channel if you haven't already shortly here. But and by the way, we are on a different couch tonight. We're at Kyle's.
It's a nice leather couch.
But we are
actually.
on a different couch just because of some space limitations tonight. But you know what? This is good. This is good.
like
Sometimes
this.
we gotta
It's good
change it up a little bit, Sometimes we gotta throw a little curveball in there every once in a while.
Got the Christmas lights. Got the cool art back.
Got matching gray shirts.
Gray matching gray shirts. The most important thing to any episode.
Yeah. We did not color coordinate this at all, folks. Just for the record.
I mean, no, we didn't. Totally didn't.
But anyway, just before we get into the episode, because it has been a while, I just want to send a special shout out to our two sponsors, Zyman Organizing and Wes Woodson. Big shout outs to them as always. Thank you to them for their support, and their links will be in the description. All right, now on to the episode. So, like I said, it has been a while, but you know what, folks? We've been going. We've been doing a lot of fun stuff, and there were two things in particular that we have done in recent weeks that we wanted to share with you tonight. We're going to call tonight's episode our Kyle Robbie Trip Extravaganza, or Trip Roundup Extravaganza, however you want to call it.
I like the Trip Extravaganza. I think I'm going to use that for the title.
Yes. I'm just brainstorming, man. Brainstorming as we talk here. Because in the last 2 weekends, Kyle and I have actually had the occasion to take two really fun trips together. The first one was 2 Sundays ago. We actually went up to Portland, Maine, which if you watch the past episode, I think we described that we talked about how we went up there back in the fall, back in like early November. And we liked it so much we wanted to go back. But I think the big reason why we actually wanted to go back this time, obviously because we wanted to see Portland, was because we also, neither one of us have ever ridden the Amtrak Downeaster train that goes from Boston's North Station all the way up into Maine, including passing through Portland. And so we kind of decided to kill 2 birds with 1 stone by taking the good old Amtrak Downeaster up to Portland and exploring the city, and then taking it back. And then before we get into that, just really quickly, the other trip we took this past weekend was we went down to Cape Cod for our annual Cape Cod excursion. Had a great time down there, and so we wanted to sort of just take you through some of the highlights of both trips for you tonight. So I guess, Kyle, let's jump right in.
Epic.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, let's jump right into with the Portland trip from a couple weeks back. And I know you were, obviously, again, you and I were both excited about going to Portland, but I think we were even just as excited, if not more excited, about taking the train. So I want to ask you right up front, did the Amtrak Downeaster live up to your expectations?
I mean, yeah. No, I loved it. It was great. It was It was. I've never. So I don't think I've ever taken any form of the Amtrak before. But
yeah, for the record, I have taken it from like Boston to like Washington D.C. and New York, and also one random time I took it from like Chicago to St. Louis or something like that. So
nice. Like because I do remember you mentioning that before. Yeah, and I just thought it was such a great experience because it's so it's kind of like the way I describe it. I would say is it's like you're. It's literally like you're going on these like comfy kind of airplane style seats, and you can get up and walking around like the airplane, which is nice. So, and they have like really good beers and like great food on there. So I loved it, and great views. Yes. Fantastic views, which I will.
Especially when you go through Old Orchard Beach, like
that was.
You have the water right on this off to the side, and like the whole like if you've never been to Old Orchard Beach, it's kind of like the Jersey Shore boardwalk. Maine, like you've got like it's like you've got like all these different like it really is like your classic boardwalk like set up there, and we literally went like right through it and past everything. It was just a really cool experience.
So nice. Yeah, I would do it again.
Yeah,
I would probably definitely.
And it was it was not that expensive too. I think it was like maybe for going both ways, it was like $70 each. For the two of us, so it really was not bad at all, like cost wise. Like as opposed to like regular Amtrak, sometimes can be like even in like the hundreds of dollars going one way.
Yeah.
So
for like a few hours of a trip.
So honestly, like it was, like I said, it was not bad at all cost wise. So, and the nice thing is the Woburn station that we left from is like pretty close to where Kyle is here, so it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, that was nice.
But yeah, so obviously I really enjoyed the train ride both there and back, and obviously the main crux of the trip was going through Portland, which I know we had really enjoyed back in the fall, and enjoyed this time, and we did a lot of different things. So I guess Kyle, sort of take us through some of your favorite parts of the actual city part of our day trip there.
So it was nice because we had started at the train station, which is like pretty far from the city, so we kind of realized like it's better to take like unless you have like a bike. I would recommend either taking a bike if you have one, if you just happen to bring it with you, or getting like an Uber or bus, right? Because it is a bit of a walk from where kind of we start at the train station to the actual like kind of heart of the city there. Right. But once we got there, it was amazing. It was yes, it was a bit hot. We did sweat a little bit when we were kind of walking around the area, but regardless, like. I like Portland because I love this. I love the scenery. I love kind of like the sort of like the seaside kind of city nature of it. But I also love the food. The food is just really for me what steals the show there. Like they have some really great places there that you can't find too many other cities. So.
And we actually made a repeat trip to one of our now truly favorite places in Portland. Right when we got there, actually, we took Uber over to this place, Duck Fat, which if you heard our fall Portland episode, I think we probably mentioned it as well.
Or probably from anyone who's ever been to Portland, because that place is pretty famous. Yeah. I think it's got apparently a huge spot on the map, and I think even like the Phantom Gourmet or I think several TV shows, like kind of Food Network related shows, have kind of been in and out of there. So, it's definitely got a name for itself.
Yeah, no, it was like it was really good. Once again, it would definitely hit the spot. I mean, I cannot highly recommend that place enough. And then
and I'm sorry, quick, ahead, just to add quick about Duck Fats. It's known for really like their fries. I mean, yes, they have like incredible sandwiches. They got some like salads and stuff like that. It's a great kind of lunch and dinner spot, but they really like nail it with like the fries, and they got some really kind of they're basically like hand cut fries. And they also have these really incredible dips that you can have it with. So, like, I think one of the ones we had, like, it was like a garlic kind of mayo dip, which was good.
It was like a garlic mayo, and then you had that, like, the tomato one. Like...
Yeah, it was like a sun-dried tomato mayo kind of dip. It was great. Like, they got really cool, cool stuff there, so.
Absolutely. And the other sort of highlights, it was the last time we were there, we found this really cool walking trail that kind of, like, goes around the outside of the city by the waterfront, and just it's just a really, really cool walking trail. So we did that again, which we both really enjoyed, and again, and nothing but rave things to say about that. And then, we went down because obviously, you know me and baseball and stuff like that. We had to go down by the Portland Sea Dogs Park again.
Oh, of course.
Which was very enjoyable, and we
no
got
baseball games there though.
no baseball game that time, unfortunately. But and then we did stop and get some donuts at this really good donut place.
The Holy Donut,
which has a couple locations around Portland. So if you're in Portland, definitely another place to hit up there. And then finally sort of end off our
including, I would also really quickly recommend, if you go there, also try one of the Holy Cannolis. It's literally it's like a cannoli donut essentially, so it's kind of like a slightly kind of crunchier donut, and they even add some like cannoli filling in the middle, so
yes.
So
I agree with you. And sorry, I got distracted there for a minute. No, I completely agree with you, because the other thing about it, the other part that I wanted to mention was sort of on the back end of our trip. We actually went to a place that we didn't go to the first time, which was the Portland Museum of Art. And
nice.
listen. I mean, Kyle is big into art. I'm kind of so about it, but even I was really enjoying walking around the art museum and seeing sort of descriptions of all the artwork there and sort of the history behind them, and kind of there were these exhibits that sort of documented the history of the city in terms of art form and stuff like that. So it was
that was the main focus.
It was a really cool place to visit if you ever have a chance. Again, another definitely place that I give a seal of approval to. So
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, it was just a really fun trip.
Yeah,
overall,
very chill.
It was just really fun. Just walking around, seeing sites that we had seen back in the fall, but also seeing some new sites like we were seeing, and the people there are just always so nice and stuff like that. We
definitely
really enjoyed that as well. I mean, I have nothing but good things to say, really, about that particular trip. So. Definitely, again, nothing but rave reviews about Portland. So if you ever have a chance to go up to Portland, you've never been, would highly recommend it.
Yes, easily.
But sort of the bigger thing for tonight's episode was our Cape trip. Cape trip 2024, continuing the yearly tradition of making the pilgrimage down south to Cape Cod just this past weekend, actually. And folks, again, it did not disappoint. Basically we, just to sort of give a brief synopsis before we sort of dive into it, we obviously we're in the Hyannis area, so to speak, and, hit up some of our favorite food spots and the beach and stuff like that. And then we also went, again, which we'll get into here in a minute, a Hyannis Harbor Hawks game. We did some mini golf, which again Kyle's got some footage of and stuff like that. And then on Sunday we went to a place which is very nostalgic for me, Chatham. We went to Chatham and sort of walked around and had dinner at one of our sort of favorite places in Chatham. So I mean, just another fantastic Cape trip. As we always seem to have. I don't think we've ever had really a bad Cape trip.
No, honestly,
so to speak. We really definitely always seem to hit it out of the park with the Cape trips. But Kyle, I kind of wanted to throw it to you to sort of just give your thoughts in sort of more detail on our weekend down there.
So, I remember one of the kind of I wasn't gonna be upset if it didn't happen, but I was kind of just ready to throw myself into the whole kind of seafood, I just had such a big craving for any kind of seafood at that point, and I gotta say, when you go to a place like Baxter's and they have incredible, yes, it's a little pricey, but they do have really, really incredible dishes there though, and they just like, it's nice because you do get like also an option to kind of sit like, you know, by the docks, or there's like a couple different like sort of outside dock areas, or you can kind of go on the inside where it's really nice. And
it had been years since I'd been to Baxter's, as we were saying, so that was a place I really wanted to get to, and so I was glad we were able to go.
It's one of those restaurants that's kind of like a mainstay of the Cape, and I like it because, you know, if you go out boating or if you come from like the ferry, it's a good place to go, because even if you just happen to have a boat, or you're like, I don't know, maybe you're renting a boat or on one of your friends or family's boats or anything like that, you can literally just like park at the dock and they will serve you food.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
We saw people doing that. Like they would serve on the boat too. Like you didn't have to like get out and come to the restaurant.
No.
A couple people did do that, but other people were just sitting on the boat having their drinks and their food and stuff like that. You saw a bunch of boats passing by, including like the island ferries were passing by. I mean, there was a lot going on, which was really cool to see. No, it was fantastic.
Very awesome, yeah. Like, and it's just a good spot. I mean, I don't think Robbie and I will ever be rich enough to own our own boats, you know. Well, you know, but
no fancy schmancy pants here.
Yeah. But no, it was a great trip. Like, you know, and we, you know, like you said, like the Lightning Falls course that we usually go to was tip top shape as always. And yeah, I mean, it was trying to think, you know,
the Harbor Hawks was great too, and they won.
That was a fantastic game.
The Harbor Hawks beat Harwich, yeah.
And that was awesome.
Game we went to, that was fantastic, and it was kind of funny. There was a kind of Christmas in July themed night, so there was like people dressed up in like
that's right, yeah,
Christmassy costumes, and they would play like Christmas versions of Christmas music throughout the game, which I thought was really funny. So
that was just kind of clever, fun. Like they always usually have like some good setups. That actually is probably my favorite field. At pretty much out of all the Cape fields that we've been to. But at some point I would like to go to actually the Chatham Maze, because we did end up. I mean, we'll get to that in a little bit, but we we had a great time at the Hannah's game. It was cool, and you know, it was luckily with that weekend it was a nice enough temperature where it was cool, but not like, you know, too cold, not too hot. It was just kind of right in that sort of sweet spot where you feel you can go to the beach, you're satisfied, you can walk around town.
Also, the beach water was really warm. Like the beach water was really warm when we were diving in, so that was good. Yeah,
because we had kind of went to this like small beach that we'd gone in previous years, and it was just nice. It's a great kind of walking beach area, and we ended up actually, there's a sort of like jetty that's sort of like, it kind of goes in two different directions depending on where the tide is. So when we took it, like, the thing is, when the water comes in or goes out, it's a strong current. So you try to swim against it, good luck. Like, I've tried to kayak against it. I could barely even like, because I have taken a couple of kayaking trips out there, and it was really it was just such a great experience just to go to that beach, and there's just so many cool things to see there, and it's not that crowded. Like, if you can find like like a cool small beach down kind of in the Cape area, because a lot of the main beaches are very packed, so you do have to watch out for that.
Yes.
But when you can find sort of like a small niche kind of neighborhood beach, like those beaches are the best, just because
this one is perfect because you can literally just like from your place down there, just walk down to the beach, and it's like you're there in like a couple minutes, and it's like it's just very nice, convenient, and it's not overly that crowded usually, so it's like it's the kind of perfect beach if you don't want like the craziness of like a public beach, so to speak. You still get that same sort of beachy feel to it as well. So
definitely.
The last thing I want to say before we sort of touch on the Chatham or sort of afternoon that we had is that for brunch on the Sunday that we were there, we actually went to this place where we hadn't been in a few years, I think, or at least I hadn't been. The C Street Cafe, I think that's what you call it. Yep. Yeah. And it was, folks, like I've been there before with Kyle, like once or twice. It was so good. Like I loved it, and honestly, like they had, I kid you not, one of the best eggs Benedict I've ever had. It was called the Cape Cod Benedict, which had like fish cake and hollandaise sauce and stuff like that, like the home fried stuff like that. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was just so good. Like like I said, may have been one of the, if not the best eggs Benedict I've ever had. It was so delicious.
Yeah, that place is honestly probably one of my all-time favorite breakfast spots, like breakfast kind of brunch spots. They got so much stuff going on with the menu there. It's not open, for dinner. It's more of like a kind of it's more of like a breakfast, brunch, lunch kind of spot. But
we hit kind of at the right time too, because literally we walked in, there were tables available, and I think by the time we left, there was like a line kind of like forming out the door a little bit there. Like honestly, all the places we went to, we hit kind of on both trips. We kind of hit perfectly from the food point of view, because we were like able to like get in, get seated, like all the places we went to like very, very quickly, which we were both very happy about. So
that was good.
It was so good. It was just such a fun trip. Both, and like I said, so on the Sunday afternoon part, we did go to Chatham, and we sort of walked around Chatham a little bit and had dinner at sort of one of our favorite spots there, the Squire, which definitely again cannot recommend enough. But it's kind of nostalgic for me, because like growing up, my family and I would go to Chatham for like summers, like a week each summer, like growing up, and so to be able to like go back there and stuff like that and sort of see all the sites like I grew up going to, like the baseball field and stuff like that, is just a very, very cool thing. I know Kyle and I went there as well like a few years ago and really enjoyed it, and so we really wanted to go back, and I thought it was a good time we had sort of going around Chatham again this time.
Easily, like every time I go there, I always like to hit up a few different spots, and the Squire is always great. Has some great seafood, like like you were talking about earlier. I also like Candy Manor, which is one of the best, just like candy stores in general. Their chocolate is amazing.
I kind of had dessert first. We stopped there before we went over to the Squire, and I kind of had my dessert first from there. But it's just so good. Like you can't not go there
exactly.
When you're in Chatham.
Yeah, they got so much good stuff there. It's like one of those, like, it has a little penny candy section, but honestly, like, I just want to get there. Whatever kind of, like, their own chocolate is, like, whether it's, like, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, like, just, so good. I freaking love it. And also, one of the funny things about when we went to the Squire, though, first of all, had one of the best crab cake sandwiches I've had in a while. So that was a huge plus. But because like sorry, I'm trying to formulate my thoughts here, because when I do
that all the time.
When I got there, or when we got there, it felt like I was in Ireland again. Because
tell them about that. That was pretty cool.
It's cool because the Squire is kind of like, I feel like that's the most kind of Irish kind of like Irish meets like Cape Cod kind of like sort of pub.
Yes.
Because you get kind of like, it literally is like a pub, any kind of pub you'd go from Ireland, but with more seafood options. But when we got there, we actually our table was actually right next to a group of musicians that were just playing. They just played and they were talking with us. They were super nice. And it just felt like I was back in Ireland, because that's how it was. You go to a pub and every once in a while you'll bump into like live musicians just kind of sitting there chilling. They're not too loud usually they just kind of like they have like kind of like the fiddles, violins and stuff like that. And it was cool. It was just a great experience, and I always like that kind of pub vibe, so I'm especially after coming back from Ireland, it's just all for it. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was fantastic, and they weren't too loud too. Like they were kind of right noise level to be like right next to them, and you could still like talk and have a conversation, not be like yelling over them or anything like that. So it was just both trips were just fantastic. Just in closing, both trips were fantastic. We had a great time. We had great weather for both. We got we got some old experiences, but also some new experiences as well, which I thought was a great balance between the two, and can't wait to get back at some point to both places. So
definitely
highly recommend highly recommend. I don't think there was a place that we went either of these two trips that I would not recommend to people. So
No, totally.
that should go to show you something right there. But yeah, we're gonna kind of start to wind down our episode here. I'll be honest, I really don't have a final thought tonight because I think I kind of got out all my thoughts.
There you go.
In our sort of Cape and Portland recap there. So, Kyle, I don't know if you have I know since it's been a while, I don't know if you have a Sue's reviews for us, or if you got any ideas, or if you want to kind of just close out whatever you want to do. You can guide the show here for a minute.
Well, all right. So I got a quick one because this movie I don't really want to spoil. It's one of those movies that I feel like you just have to kind of see without really watching too much other reviews or trailers or anything. But I had the fortune of seeing Long Legs, which is the most recent Nick Cage movie that came out, and it's basically a kind of a detective movie with like horror elements and other kind of stuff that's going on, and it's literally just about this detective who is tracking down this serial killer called Long Legs, and it's directed actually by the son of what was the Psycho actor? Jesus Christ, Quinn Perkins. Sorry, Anthony Perkins. I was gonna say Anthony Quinn. Anthony Perkins. Who was famous for pretty much, the role of Norman Bates back in the 60s and 70s, or actually 80s as well. I think they had a few sequels to Psycho. So his son Oz Perkins directed this movie, and you could tell he's got a really good eye for just incredible shots. And the movie had a very creepy vibe about it. It's one of those that really kind of sticks with you. A little bit like Hereditary, if you've ever seen anything like that. I actually liked it personally. I think I even preferred it to Hereditary, and a lot of people consider Hereditary to be one of the scariest movies of all time. But this one, I'm just a huge sucker for like detective movies in general or shows. So when you have like a detective movie or show mixed in with some horror elements, then I'm completely there. So, but yeah, I don't want to get too much into the story. It's just one of those movies you just have to go see yourself. Granted, you probably wouldn't like it if you don't like scary movies.
Which I don't. So.
Or just being creeped out. I mean, luckily there's not really any jump scares, but the whole time you just have this uneasy feeling. It's one of those types of movies that you just have to kind of, it's just you just have to experience if you like that stuff, if you're okay with that. So, definitely check out Long Legs. Nick Cage is great in it, by the way. Like it's just definitely check it out if you like that style. So,
cool. All right. Well, thank you, Kyle, for that nice little short but sweet recap for us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and as always, folks, thanks for tuning in. It was great being back on the couch tonight after a little while off, but we're glad to be back. And don't worry, we will be back in the coming weeks with new episodes and stuff like that. And so, very excited about that as always. And again, thank you to our sponsors, Zion Organizing and Wes Woodson. And again, thank you for joining us, whether it's here on YouTube. Again, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram.
But not MySpace.
Not MySpace. And
MySpace.
Please don't follow us in real life either. We don't want that. But anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, he's Kyle, I'm Robbie, and we are signing off from the couch. Bye, everybody.
No, what was it?
Good, yeah. Hey, a nice little golf clap to end. There you go.